Alright, so no update video today. I just didn't get to it. I just didn't have the time. So what we're gonna do instead is let's talk about why MOBA games are so hard to make. Now, most games, when you have a character and you want to move that character, you can just write a line like, okay, if you press a button, then this character moves into a certain direction. You can pretty much just hard code that in. You don't have to keep in mind that this character could change a state or something like that. Now, if you have something like a ARPG, it gets a little bit more complicated because you have different items and you have different abilities, different character classes, and stuff like that. But usually, a character class will never change into another character class. And for instance, I don't know, if you have an armor part like helmet, this helmet will never ever become suddenly a chest plate. This just won't happen, so you don't have to keep that in mind. Now, in a MOBA game, there isn't that much content as in an RPG, but you usually have to keep in mind that pretty much everything needs to be able to become everything at all the time. So, for instance, I have a unit, let's see, like for instance, this tank here, um, this is basically a building. You build this tank like a building, and once it's on the ground, um, it suddenly becomes a unit. So we have this weird situation that we have something that is one thing, which is a building, but it has to change its state on runtime into something completely different. And that means that pretty much everything you do needs to be as modular as humanly possible. And I mean everything needs to be modular. I have units, um, for instance, for a while I had the sight system hard coded. So at night every unit would see a little bit less in night than it would in daylight. Um, and that would be totally fine for most games. But then I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was a faction that has units that would see further in night than they do in day? Because that's an interesting mechanic, right? You have all these factions that see less at night, and then there's this one faction that works completely different, and that's what MOBA games are all about, right? So suddenly we have an exception to this rule, and we can't hard code this anymore. We need um, more code, more mechanics to work around this. Now, this is a very simple solution to this. Don't get me wrong, but there are parts that are much harder to do, and that I honestly still couldn't figure out, which is one of the reasons why I don't have an actual update video today. Um, so yeah, I'm now at the point where the network code is pretty much where I want it. There is still a lot to do, don't get me wrong, but overall the faction system and the team system works pretty well, and the data gets sent in a way that I think is pretty efficient. But the whole unit system, the way that it works now, I probably have to write that from scratch pretty much, just because it's not modular enough. I can't do everything that I want to be able to do. So um, yeah, I guess I guess I don't have anything else to say. I'll just show you the tank that I was mentioning a second ago. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong faction. God damn it! Then I'll show you another tank, smaller one. Ta-da! I did some very crappy modeling today because I didn't want to code. I didn't want to do actual models, so I did these crappy looking ones. Isn't he cute? Um, so yeah, I hope I'll get an update video done tomorrow. I hope I'll get an update done tomorrow. But if not, then that's the reason. The reason is just that I I can't figure out how to do things. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.